Greetings, humanity! Today is Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. Let's Grok the news. I'm Robert Gardner, using Grok, the most truthful AI in the world, each weekday to help me search out and to summarize the biggest headlines in the news today. You also get the unparalleled benefit of this observer's opinions. We briefly review a roundup of the most critical reports in the world. But first, and mostly in this special report, a deep dive into today's top story. That's coming right after this. M.S. Gardner, my wife, is author of last year's Moon Meridian Prize winner from April Gloaming Publishing, Wolfsbane, a dark, serious, modern take on an old fairy tale. You've never heard Little Red Riding Hood told like this. It's a page-turning Southern Gothic story for adults that you can't put down. It might not put you down for a while either. Wolfsbane is that kind of novella, and it's available now at thecuriousauthor.com. All one word, thecuriousauthor.com. And, of course, on Amazon. And now, let's grok the most important news in the world today, starting with our lead story. Once again, the dateline is Tehran, the ongoing U.S.-Israel war against Iran. Or is it technically a conflict? Well, it's now on its 12th day, whatever it is, marked by heavy airstrikes, Iranian attempts to mine the Strait of Hormuz, and sharp escalations in rhetoric and regional spillover. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, or Secretary of War, as the Trump administration prefers, Hegseth described today as the most intense day of American strikes on Iranian targets, with operations systematically dismantling Iran's military capabilities while avoiding endless nation-building. President Trump issued stark warnings against Iran, laying mines in the vital Strait of Hormuz, vowing consequences at a level never seen before, after U.S. forces eliminated 16 Iranian mine-laying vessels. The conflict has caused significant human and environmental tolls, while at least 140 U.S. troops have been wounded, mostly minor injuries over the past 10 days or so. In Tehran and other cities, residents report relentless bombardment leading to power outages, civilian deaths, and black rain. That's toxic precipitation from strikes on oil reserves and facilities, which scientists warn could cause long-term respiratory problems, unprecedented pollution. Shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has plummeted, as shown in time-lapse footage, amid Iranian missile and drone strikes on Gulf nations, including incidents near the Dubai airport, injuring 4, and also hits on ships. Trump has offered mixed messages on the war's endgame, hinting it could be very complete or pretty well complete soon, while Hegseth emphasized that the president will decide when it concludes. Iran shows no signs of seeking a ceasefire, continuing to fire projectiles despite degraded missile capabilities. Regional fallout includes attacks expanding to central Beirut, with Israeli strikes killing Iranians in a luxury hotel, and broader concerns over GPS jamming and civilian life disruptions. Russia, meanwhile, is positioning itself for diplomatic and economic gains from the conflict, denying any intelligence sharing with Iran on U.S. troop positions. Oil prices have swung wildly, initially dropping on hints of a short war, but remaining volatile due to supply fears. The war is dominating global attention, straining alliances, energy markets, and humanitarian conditions, with no clear off-ramp in sight as both sides press for military advantage. This observer thinks that it's pretty obvious that in time, probably just a couple of 3 weeks from now. A lot is going to happen. Stay tuned. Now, we grok the headlines from around the world. Dateline Washington. Vice President J.D. Vance is framing artificial intelligence through a techno-populist prism, positioning it as the defining issue for future global politics. Vance warns of AI landmines like surveillance, privacy invasions, and political bias, citing search engine distortions, while highlighting roses such as job creation in trades from data center booms and opportunities for workers and emerging businesses to thrive with AI tools. This observer is enjoying it. Dateline Washington. FCC Chair Brendan Carr announced a major crackdown on overseas call center scams, mandating standard English proficiency for operators and implementing measures to sharply reduce robocalls, aiming to protect American consumers from fraudulent schemes. This observer says it's about time, and he'll believe it when he sees it, or doesn't hear it. Dateline Kerzers, Switzerland. At least 6 people died and several were injured when a postal bus burst into flames in a small town west of Bern. Police are investigating the blaze as a possibly deliberate act, with reports suggesting that a person may have set themselves on fire. Dateline Los Angeles. A 35-year-old woman from Orlando, Florida, Ivana Lisette Ortiz, has been charged with attempted murder and multiple felony counts after allegedly firing a semi-automatic rifle at pop star Rihanna's Beverly Crest home Sunday afternoon. Rihanna, her partner, ASAP Rocky, I'm sure that's not what his mother named him, their children and others were present and fortunately unharmed. Dateline Australia and Iran. A member of Iran's women's football delegation who was granted asylum in Australia has changed her mind and plans to return home amid reports that several teammates received visas following the ongoing conflict. Dateline Washington. Jeffrey Epstein's longtime accountant was deposed by the House Oversight Committee as part of ongoing probes, with continued revelations about key aides still controlling his vast assets and secrets years after his death. Dateline India. The CEO of IndiGo, that's India's largest airline, has resigned. This is months after a major crisis involving mass flight cancellations that disrupted travel nationwide. Dateline Beijing and Pyongyang. China and North Korea announced plans to resume passenger train service between the two countries, which was halted since the pandemic, signaling a step toward normalized cross-border travel. Dateline The state of Georgia in the United States. The special election to replace the notorious Marjorie Taylor Greene in Congress now advances to a runoff, with Democrat Sean Harris and Trump-endorsed Clay Fuller emerging as top contenders. This observer hopes they can count votes this year without a fake water leak this time. Dateline Texas to Michigan, and all points in between. Severe weather, including possible tornadoes, threatens up to 100 million people across a vast swath of the nation from Texas to Michigan, prompting urgent warnings and preparations. Dateline, well, across the USA, once again, federal authorities have issued a recall for oysters and clams that were distributed to 9 states due to potential norovirus contamination, urging consumers to check your products and avoid consumption if you're suspicious. Dateline Germany. Volkswagen has announced plans to cut 50,000 jobs worldwide. The automaker reporting a sharp drop in profits amid shifting market demands and transitions. Here's a global dateline for you. Meta has acquired Moltbook, described as a social media network designed for AI agents. This is in a move, expanding its footprint in artificial intelligence ecosystems. The Facebook owner wanting to be a part of the big AI boom. This observer has no idea what he just read. Dateline Global. Artificial intelligence is accelerating the discovery of treatments for previously incurable diseases, offering new hope through advanced data analysis and drug modeling. We live in truly amazing times. Dateline California. Death Valley is experiencing its most spectacular wildflower bloom since 2016, transforming the arid landscape into a vibrant display following rare winter rains. Catch the pictures of it while you can. This doesn't last long. And I thank you for listening. Please join me tomorrow to once again grok the news. I'm Robert Gardner. Godspeed and God bless.